What's up, everybody? Happy Friday Live Day. How we doing? Who we got here? Jack in the shop, how's it going? Ruben, Michael, what's up? HTL, Joseph, how's it going? Sam, Upside Down, James Brewer, what's up, bud? Peter, Matt's in the house, Joe Casey. How you guys doing? Bracco Works, hello. Wendy. How you guys doing? Can everybody hear me okay? Kind of muted Kyle. Test, test. How's audio now? I don't want to blow your guys' eardrums out. Good audio. Okay. All right. We're getting confirmations, so we'll leave it there. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Friday Live Day. Louder than ever before. I don't know if that's positive, Ruben. We are going to be doing a viewer's choice. So I have a choice of 3 projects that we can work on, and we will kind of develop what we're doing as we go. So it'll be kind of a little bit of fun and games for everybody. Damn it, Matt. So I'm going to kindly switch over to the webcam, and I'm going to show everybody what our options are, and we can decide together what we're working on. Lightburn work on fiber yet? Yes. It's not so much that it works on fiber, it works on Galvo. So Galvo operated EasyCAD 2 lasers, and I will be using Lightburn tonight. It is still technically in beta, however, you only have to wait 1 more week to try it out on your laser if you have an EasyCAD 2 laser. Yes, Tyler. Those. Alright, so I'm going to switch over here. So, our options for today. We can play around with some slate and see what kind of cool stuff we come up with. We can do a kind of funky design on this machete, or we could do a knife. With the slate, I was thinking about trying getting different textures on it. With this, I was thinking about just doing splotchy designs, nothing special. The knife, I was thinking about doing a trace, putting a pattern on it, and then doing initials on the blade. So you can pick if I do a trace on this knife, mask it, and do something cool. Splotchy stuff on the machete. Potentially different textures on the slate. So I'm going to throw up a poll now in the chat, and you guys can pick. It's going to be a poll. Hang tight, guys. 1 sec. Oh, okay. I think I had a helper set up a poll and then I screwed it up. I screwed it up because I put up a poll at the same time and it ended it. It was my bad. Is my bad. Okay, poll will pop up for you guys in just a moment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. It's got to be in the voting system, so that because I'll lose track of it if it's just chat. We'll never keep count. So if you're on mobile, if you pop out of full screen, you should see an option pop up, a little floater, where you can select it, or it'll be just beneath the stream in chat. If you're on desktop, it should already be up for you. It should pop up in the chat window. Standard hatch, Tyler. I like it. What's up, Don? How you doing, bud? Couple people I missed here. Waldo, how's it going? A bulletin. Yep. That's the thing. I can't count in the comments. It's just too chaotic sometimes. I don't want to take away people's option to vote. No problem, Michael. It's all good. Team effort. Hey, David. All right, so we have just a couple moments left on the poll. Yeah, viewer count's still going up. So for those of you just coming in, I see the viewer count just rose. We have a poll going on for picking the project for tonight, viewer's choice. We have a knife, a machete, or slate. The knife is, we're doing all of them in Lightburn. Whatever we end up doing is going to happen in Lightburn one way or the other. So you'll get to see some more Galvo action on that, since that'll be coming out just another week or so for beta, coming out of beta into trial for everyone. So I'll be tracing if we do the knife, doing a mask, and then dropping a pattern on that. If we do a machete, I'm just gonna pick some cool stuff to throw on there, just a little, personal wall hanger. And then the slate, I thought we would experiment on doing textures. So a couple different textures to get a couple different looks. So again, put your vote in the poll before it closes. Hey, Bubba, don't worry. If we don't do slate tonight, we'll do it another night. These aren't going anywhere. We'll keep doing them. You guys like them. I have fun with them. It gives a good opportunity for dialogue and questions. So one way or the other, we'll get to it eventually. Waldo says, what's the least expensive way to get into lasers? It depends on what you want to engrave. If you want to do metal, you may want to look into a fiber. It gives you a lot of options. You can do, you can sort of do metal with some diodes, but you're going to be working with a really slow setup because it's got to go really, really slow to heat up the metal. And it's kind of like an anneal. It's not like you're not really removing a ton of metal like you would be with a fiber. If you're doing natural stuff like wood or slate can be done pretty much with any laser. If you're doing wood, you would want to go with diode or CO2. The least expensive way is honestly diode. You could get into a diode laser for like $200. You have options. You're just limited on what you can do, and it's really slow. But if you want to see if it's for you and then work your way up, that's a good way to do it. We do have some reviews on the channel for a couple different diode lasers too, so check those out if you just want to kind of see what they're like before you dive into it. Thanks, Matt. Love you, buddy. Let's see, what did I miss? Sorry I missed this, but will this be fiber or UV? Fiber. I don't have a UV here in my shop yet, but I have a 60 watt M7 fiber behind me, and that's what we'll be working with. DV, absolutely right. It depends on what your definition of expensive versus inexpensive is, yes. Sam, that could probably get worked in as a, I mean, there are galvos that operate on, like galvo heads that operate on a gantry rail system. So it's possible they work that into the functionality later. Right now it's more of just a getting everybody going kind of thing, and I think they're going to add in more functionality later. But after it goes into trial, if you go to their forums, you can leave them feedback for feature requests, I'm sure. Even here through the community, I at least know I'll be kind of keeping track to see what's important for people and giving feedback when I can. Barbara Craig, I'm new to the community, ordering my laser next week. I appreciate the LE content so much. Glad you're getting value out of it. Good to be here with you, and thanks for hanging out with us. If we can offer any help with questions, feel free to drop them in chat, and we'll help out. And if we can't help you in chat, check out the Discord or Facebook group. Everybody tries to help out as much as they can. Are fiber lasers overkill for plastics? For a lot of plastics, yes. Generally, CO2 is kind of the right tool for plastics. Fiber, you can kind of cheat your way into doing it a little bit. It just depends what it is. Some materials just aren't great. Polymers are really cool, depending on the polymer blend. David, is there already Lightburn for Galvo content made from you guys? Technically, all the streams that I've done with this laser, with the exception of the first one, have been with Lightburn. So if you want to check out our prior lives, there's that. Tonight will be also on Lightburn with the fiber. And we do have content that is both planned and will be released for the Lightburn Galvo release date. At least that's the plan. DV is absolutely right. So anybody looking at doing plastics with the fiber or any laser, you need to worry about, well, you need to worry about whatever you put under your laser when it comes to chemicals and what it releases. Vinyl and PVC seem to be the hot topic recently. Don't laser those. There's excellent articles out there that explain why. It basically erodes your machine and turns it into rust. It's terrible for your lungs because it emits basically chlorine gas. Very, very poisonous. And will destroy the tools in your shop. And you. So don't do it. Look up the MSDS and item sheet for whatever you engrave if you're unsure. Patrick did a Lightburn on a Glock. Matt, I think you're absolutely right. I'm pretty sure Patrick's live stream on doing the Glock was on that. Speaking of which, if you guys want to check that out too, Laser Everything Else is our other channel associated to this channel, where the staff does uploads. Patrick did a live stream there where he did amazing work on his Glock. Yes. Sometimes it's hard to trust your customers with what they're bringing you if you're a job shop. That is an absolute valid point. You're right. Always read the data. The machete handle looks like a generic cheap machete handle. Like this. I just realized I left you guys on the webcam while we were voting, so I will switch back. Oh yes, combustible products, don't do that. Yikes. Job shop would be like if you're not selling your products per se, you're just engraving what people bring you. Is usually what we refer to as a job shop. That's what Lasers. I'm sorry. That's what Alex's business was for years when he first started the channel as well. Yeah. So a lot of the content he was sharing and teaching us with were jobs. Poll ended. Okay, so knife won by a landslide, 54%. Slate 27 and machete 18. You guys hate that machete. All right, so we are going to get started with the knife. I am a hybrid. I do both. Yeah, I mean, there's good ways to handle doing either or both. It just depends on what you're into and what you like. They each have their own challenges. Don't worry. The options will rotate back around. Not to worry. All right, so I'm gonna switch back here. We're gonna get the losers out of the way. But they're only losers tonight. We're going to be doing them another night at some point, I'm sure. So first thing, I have my little shims. So this will keep us balanced and flat. So I have an overhead shot of this already that I'm going to bring over to Lightburn. Let's go ahead and give me one moment here. It's alright, guys. Sometimes the like system takes a little bit of time to catch up. Not to worry. Alright. Okay, it's been brought to my attention that David did a super chat for $20. Thank you, David. This is very kind of you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel, David. Super appreciated. Very cool of you. Oh, God. Alex is saying, smash the like button if you want me to buy Kyle a wireless lav mic. If we get 50 likes in the next 5 minutes, I'll buy him one. Well, there you have it. If we get 50 likes, Alex will buy me a lav mic. You'll be able to hear me across the room. Don't injure yourself hitting the like button. That's bad. Injuries are bad. And Miss Laser Everything said she'll do it for 40. Oh boy. Mom and Dad want to hook me up with a wireless lav mic. Alright. Let's switch over to Lightburn here. We'll loop back to that later. We'll do it this way. so you guys can see my screen. So I'm going to drop in my image here. So this is my overhead shot of, here, even better. Now you can see my bald head. So we have an image of the knife just shot straight down from overhead. Okay. So very similar to what Alex did during his art prep video. We're going to be taking this line pencil tool, okay? And we're going to be clicking on these points. Now, that's in black. So we're going to pick a pen color that makes a little more sense, that pops out. So it doesn't have to be super exact. And what's beautiful about this knife is there's only so much. Quick little tip for you guys following along later, because not a lot of you can right now, but later you will be able to. You can hot move while you're in the middle of selecting with your middle mouse button. So if you press down on your scroll wheel, you can move your selected item without a problem. I'm going to make it difficult on myself and throw some curves in. And I'm not really too worried about it being too exact. So I'm going to show you guys my little trick. So we have an enclosed shape. I don't need to measure it before tracing it, because I'm going to do it after. But you are a step ahead. That's not a bad thing. So the size right now, correct, is not important, but it will be important, because at the end of the day, this outline, we want to match the shape of our knife, yes. Can you hit like more than once? No, you can't. Is the spine of the knife wide enough to mark? Maybe. I can check. Sorry. I mean, it's pretty small. We could do it. We could even make it like textured. We could revisit that after we get the body of the knife done. That's for sure. We'll see where we're at for time. I did, but I'm watching on 2 devices with 2 different accounts. HDL, that's cheating, but appreciated. Approved. Thank you, David. I like my bald head too. It's perfect for summer. It's too hot. Alright, so you have a camera next to the lens. Please explain the camera if you can. I do have a camera next to the lens. I will quickly switch to it just to show you. It's just a webcam. It's just a generic webcam that I stuck next to the laser, and I'm using it through OBS to show you what I'm doing. So, nothing too special there, promise. Can we get a shade for that thing? For my shiny head? No, Ruben, don't be sorry. It's a valid point. Alright, so moving on. So we're moving over to this tool here. Now this is the Edit Node tool. And if you mouse over stuff in Lightburn, you'll see that there's a tooltip. What we want is Convert Curve to Line. So we want to hit L. I know, it's all good, Jack. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to select the line, we're going to hit L, and now what we can do is we can bounce this line around. Now, just in case you can't see that, we can jump rope with it. So we can match this up as needed. And it doesn't have to be too tight on the outside. I don't really care if it hits what's beyond the edge of the knife on the outside. What's going to be important is when I come back and do the the bolts on the inside. I don't really want to mark the bolts, or for that matter, over here there's like a brass washer, like a pinch washer that keeps the friction there. I don't want to hit that necessarily. Not that it'll affect its function. It's more of just an aesthetic thing. I don't want to hit it. Now, if we go over here again, it says we can insert a node at the midpoint. So if I click here, just like that, is the line red? Hard to see. Yes. I can change it to... Oh, that's not really working. I can change it to green. Does that pop for you better? We can change it to any pen color. The color is not so much important. I'm just trying to make it visible. Sorry about that. So, as you can see, we're more or less where we want to be, right? We're covering the laser, or I'm sorry, we're covering the knife. It's definitely Friday. I'm sorry. So, and we're not hitting the blade here, which is nice, so we're not going to overmark that. I'm glad it's better. Okay, good. So, job done on the outside. So we're going to use the circle. And here's the fun part, right? So if you grab the center of this bolt, roughly, and you hold control, it will open the circle up from where you clicked. So it'll start from the center. The next thing you can do is hold shift. So see how it's kind of oblong? Second you hold shift, it will force it into a perfect circle. We're going to oversize it just a little bit. And I'm going to shift this. Now, I can use the arrow keys to shift this around, as you can see. If I don't hold shift or control, it will jump further. If I hold control, a little smaller. If I just do shift, bigger jump. If I hold both, much smaller jump. Okay? Good enough for government work. It's just my personal knife. It's not a customer, so you can spend all day doing that if you'd like. We're going to go a little bigger on that. I like that there. And last one here. Oh, whoops. Now, downsides to this method are that if you don't get the picture perfectly top down, it's going to skew the image. Or if, for example, the knife isn't perfectly flat, it will kind of take the image at an angle. So while you'll get the generic size roughly right, it will be off. So you really want to take your time and make sure you're getting it perfectly top down, if you can. And you want to make sure that the item is starting out flat on the engraved surface pointing up at the laser. Or at the camera, in this case, since you're taking a photo. So that's my tips on that. You can see I leveled this, but I didn't do something with this photo that I should have done. David says, give me light burn. It's coming, man. It's coming. So, one thing I did not do while I did flatten out the knife is that I didn't do my little trick with. I walked away when Kyle was making that hideous outline and came back, and it looks so much better. I tried, man. I tried. Yes, pro tips. Smash the like button if there was pro tips in the last 5 minutes that Alex missed. Show him who was good at doing an outline. So the pro tip that I will share with you on this is that I didn't make sure my camera was flat when I took this photo. One thing I found after doing this photo is that if you take your phone, as long as it's not like a massive or tiny phone, depending on what you have, hold it flush against the edges of your lens. Now, don't press it into the glass on your fiber lens or your galvo lens, but if you hold it against that, the head of your galvo should already be level to the bed of your laser, as long as you assembled it that way. Ideally, that's the case because you want everything you engrave to be at the same plane as your, or perpendicularly to the same plane as your galvo head. So that's my tip. Stick your camera against the frame of your lens without touching your lens. Don't make it dirty. And that's what I would do. So we have our outline here. Now, I have a couple of options on design. This one I'll just do in chat because we're going to keep moving here. I can either do Bhaskar steel engrave, so like the Mandalorian Bhaskar steel icon into the knife with the wavy lines and everything. We can find an image for that. Or the second option is we can do kind of like a turtle shell pattern, like a grippy pattern almost. I will give you guys 1 minute. Throw your vote into the chat. Let me know what you want to see. We'll do a quick visual count, whatever we see more of. Did you mention not to take the pic super close either? Most phone lenses have a fisheye. Yes. So, if you're very, very close, if the thing you're taking a picture of is taking up basically most of the image, there's a good chance that it's stretching or distorting it as you go. And you don't want to do that. That will kind of screw up your trace so that when you go over here to red light your outline, it's going to mess with things. Let's see. Bhaskar, Dragon... Nah, I'm not prepped for Dragon Scale. Well, I'm not prepped for Bhaskar Steel either, but... Dragon Scale is on the next one. Not tonight. Ruben says first option. Wavy pattern, turtle shell. Bhaskar Steel, turtle. Bhaskar Steel. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Contour map. Matt, that's cheating. Turtle pattern Bhaskar Steel is overdone too much. Well, it's up to you guys. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine Bhaskar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turtle. Okay, so I'm counting the dragon scales as turtle because that's closer. So we're at 6. Manturtleorian. I mean, that might be a little weird. I don't even know how I would approach how I would want to design that, because you're mixing lines with like wavy diamond shapes. It's weird. It would probably look cool. I just don't know how I would combine them. I'm not worried about the oblong hole here because it's a pass-through. I'm okay with that. That's fine. What do I want? It's mine anyway. I want what you guys want because we're all about making memories and being a community here. It's why it's viewer's choice, man. So as of right now, Beskar Steel is winning. So I think we're going to be probably going with Beskar Steel here. That said, we'll probably end up doing another one in the future, so not to worry. We're not... Unicorns and donuts, what? No, we're not doing that right now. Yeah, what Alex said. All right, so... we'll see what we can find for a turtle logo. Beskar donut. All right, so pro tip number 2. What we're going to do over here, we're back to the selection tool, the mouse, okay? And we're going to select... I'm just holding down Control to select all these, okay? I'm going to group it with Control G. It's okay, HDL. We're going to Control G to group it. Now we're Control D to duplicate. We now have a frame outline. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm using this lower one as a mask. So when I go to put this one back over what we mask, I will have the holes lined up to do an outline. I don't have to work around the whole pattern. I can hide the pattern and use the circles. So we're going to keep a copy of this over here off to the side for safekeeping in case we need it for the time being, and we'll work with this one. So we don't need this trace anymore, so I deleted that, but you can see compared to my work bed, I don't think that's going to fit, right? So now we want to measure the knife. There it is. Back to the camera. Yes. So we're going to do our best to get a straight measurement of this. But that said, as you can see, there's 2 curved surfaces, top and bottom, right? So ideally what you would do is you'd just take a measurement of the straightest spot that you can reference in the design, and then you could draw a line in your pattern and just scale it that way, but that's okay. We're going to approximate it and we'll resize it as we need to. That's the beauty about having the holes the way we did them, is we can use that to scale. So I'm at 109¼ millimeters for the handle length. Okay. So, as you can see here, this is way too big. So we'll go down to 110. Before you hit enter, make sure this is locked, or else it's going to skew your design. It's going to make it really narrow but really tall, or whatever. It's only going to change one orientation, so don't do that. Oh, that's okay. I can check. Oh, wrong one. Right screen. There we go. So as you can see, this is massive compared to our work area, so that's not going to fit. So our measurement came out to 109¼ millimeters, 109.25. So what you want to do is up here in the top, make sure this lock is closed so that it's going to change both the height and the width when you change one of these measurements. 109.25. All right. So now this is much more attainable, right? Okay. So now I'm just going to go look for a Beskar steel design. Hang tight for me. We'll switch back to here so I can keep talking to you guys while I look for the design. That said, don't sell anything trademarked or copyrighted. This is for personal use. Alright, so I don't like those. The Manturtleorian lives for another day. Yes. Yes, weird is good. Gotta keep trying new stuff or else you never grow, right? It's part of, you know, what live days are about. We do stuff together, we learn together. Do you use vector images for your design? You can do either. That's the beauty about Lightburn. So with images, you lose some options, but Lightburn is pretty good about dealing with that. For the sake of, you know what, I think today we're going to not use vectors intentionally because I want to show you guys how easy it is to work with Lightburn. Let's do it that way. Let's all get excited about next week. I'm intentionally going to find a JPEG. Does that work for everybody? Are we all cool with that? What's up, Easy? How you doing, buddy? Okay, we have a winner on the image. Matt says do it. Good. We're gonna... Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do, I have my 110 lens in. This is 109 millimeters. I kind of want to keep everything... We're gonna cockeye it a little bit. Yeah, whatever. We'll stick with that. We're gonna paste in the design here. Now this is an image. Oh, yep, thank you for the reminder. So this is my image, this is our outline. I'm going to duplicate that one because it's the right size, and I'm going to delete the other one that I saved for before. So if we go like this, we stick it over it, and we, oh, off the screen because of my fat head. So I have the design in the middle of our work area, and I have this. So if you start from the bottom right and drag up to the left, you highlight everything in your path. Okay? Apply mask to image. Well, you don't see anything, right? But now you do. There's your mask. There's the magic. So we're going to kind of work this until we get the design the way we want it. My head is fat, but that's okay. I accept it. I love it the way it is. So, gonna keep adjusting this the way we want it. Yeah. I kind of like it there. What do you guys think? Does that work for everybody? Man, this is so sick. I did not know how to do that until literally just now. Well, Again, Friday Live Day. We're learning together, man. All right. So I like the way this looks. I want to go a step further. Let's do... Should I do an Imperial logo on it? Yes or no to the Imperial logo? Let me see it in chat. Yep, yes, yes. Let's get the logo in. Yeah, that looks good. We'll do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed, probably a knife, another time, don't worry. Yes, yes, yeah, okay. Logo it is. All right. Google image search, and I'm literally taking the first one that pops up. That one's a little small. Okay. Let's see if this one works. Indeed it does. All right. So, as you can see, we happen to have one with a transparent background. It's a PNG. So, what we can do well, first off, we can just throw it right on top if we want to. Let's do this. We're going to, I want to make sure it's on, yeah, it's on screen. All right. So, do you guys see the logo here that the mouse is popping up with? Kyle is like, my boss. No, stop that. So, the mouse turns into basically a circle with a cross through it. That means you're in the center of a shape or an item. So if that item is perfectly circle, like the object we have here is, this means you're at true center. And we're using the circle tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the little trick we did before. We're going to start the circle in the center. If we hold control, it forces it to where we started it. And if we hold shift, we get a perfect circle. Now we have an outline of that in size, right? Well, I'm not going to do it there, and I'm not going to do it that big. But the idea is I'm going to make this... I'm going to clear a little space in the design using the same process we did with the outline of this and applying a mask. Yes, Stevie, that is the center. You can't see the context menus. I'm sorry. Wait, why can't you? Yes, you can. You guys see those pop-ups, right? The tooltips? Valid point, Bracco. Thank you for that. So this is where me not marking that extra hole is going to fail me. But that's okay. I can put it up here toward the top instead. I'll put it up here. So let's make sure. We'll sanity check it. Yeah, this is an alright size. I'm okay with that. If I put it around the top screw tension part, it's... I mean, I can make it bigger. It's gonna, like, be too big, I think. Yeah, it's not gonna work. That's alright. Alright, so this is good enough. So what we're gonna do... Let me get it off that. So we have a circle. And you can kind of see the mouse changes. Oh. Well, it's sort of, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it won't fit. Next time. That's alright. It was a good deal. Just not with the design we have. So, again, if we start at the center, hold Control and Shift, we get the size of the item we want. We want to go a little bigger because we want the logo to stand out against the Beskar steel design, right? So we go a little bit bigger so we'll have an outline of the anodization that's still there. So what we're going to do there we go. We'll go right there. Nope. Okay. Had to undo it. So if you get to a point where you need to redo it to add a circle so that it cuts out the design, you can ungroup it and it will undo the mask if you haven't flattened it yet. If you flattened it, you have to hit the undo button a bunch of times. There we go. So we're going to highlight all these. We're going to... I don't like that. There we go. We're going to highlight those, group them. We're going to highlight that, apply to mask. We're going to shift that back to where it was. Roughly. That's good. I turned 46 yesterday, still learning new tricks. Never stop learning. Got to keep that mind going. Just turned 49, learning certain tricks hurt way more now. Sometimes. I hear ya. I'm in my 30s, Ruben, if that helps. Alright, so we're on to the next step. So, what we want to do, I'm going to take... We'll do it after. Alright, so if we right-click on the image now, we have a couple of options. Now, flatten image mask is what we want. What that does is it takes the image and it locks it into the position, and it's now part of the design. Okay? That's it. This is it. You guys did it. Good job. So what we're going to do now... Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to do it differently. So since this is an image and it's still kind of an odd shape, we're going to go roughly from top to bottom with a line. Now, this is sometimes how I line stuff up when it's in a little bit of a difficult spot, because we couldn't really line this up before we did it anyway. Now, if we highlight our image that we want to drop into the circle and then highlight the line that we just made, we go up here to this little target icon. That is the shortcut for doing horizontal and vertical center to each other. Oop. And then I was a doofus and moved it. So it's not quite perfect, but oh. Let's try that again. Yeah. It's alright. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you shift stuff around. We're just going to visually center it. 50 on Monday. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Or early birthday. Upcoming birthday. Happy upcoming birthday. Good, good. Alright, so... one more pro tip while we're at it. If you hold control while you're moving stuff around, you can stop stuff from auto-snapping temporarily. You don't have to go through the settings to disable it. It just does it for the one selection you have. So for those of you hanging out and paying attention, there's a juicy nugget of info for you. Yeah, I like that there. Alright, so let's highlight those. We're going to group them so I don't accidentally shift that design off of the center there. And that's it. What we're going to do now, we're going to take that, take this. I did that backwards. There we go. So what I did there was I highlighted the first one and then the second one and hit align horizontal and vertical centers. Now as you can see, what that did, if I zoom in real close, is we now have that green border on the inside now that disappeared when we did the image mask from the first one. That's why I duplicated it and didn't resize it. So what this allows me to do now is if I hide the image, we have this outline, and if I go over to the webcam, well, before I go over to the webcam, if I go to my laser control here and hit frame, okay, I'm going to switch to the webcam view. We have that view. Okay. Now if I switch back to Lightburn again, we'll do that. I'm going to close that. If I highlight these and I ungroup it, and I cut that out and hit frame, look at that. We got our screw holes. Now, don't forget to... Oh, here. Don't forget to focus your work before you start engraving. That's pro tip number 4. Perfect. Okay. We are now focused. So back to framing like we were before. What do you guys think? Not too bad, right? Barbara says my fibers, my birthday and bar exam taking gift. That's not a bad gift. It's a good gift. Congrats on the 25th anniversary. We got a lot of good dates coming up. Congratulations, guys and girls. Very cool. Yeah, holding off on a fiber because of EasyCAD is a good reason. All right, so as you guys can see, we have our big circle and our two little circles lined up perfectly there. We're in focus. Now, I'm going to switch back to light burn. Oh, no, we'll do it that way. And what we have here is our frame option. I'm going to go back. I'm going to put that back. Now, I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to hold on to them, but we're not going to need them right now. We're just holding on to them just in case. We're turning off the output and show for that one. So now this, I'm just sanity checking, should be perfectly lined up. Oh, it's framing the... No? Oh, that's why. That's why we're on the wrong layer. I'll delete that. Oh, we're good. We're just going to send it. Also, fair disclosure, this is still a pre-build beta, so it's going to be a little wonky for me. But that said, I like how this looks. We are going to go back into Lightburn, set the settings, and we're going to run it. So, for this, I'll show you a new menu. So I've shown you guys the library already in my last stream. I'm just going to do it straight from here. Okay, so this is the layer menu. If you double click on the layer, you get this. So I want to do a fast engrave, 1900 millimeters a second. We're going to do 45 power. We'll do 30 frequency. And this is 0.01 is what we want for line interval. Pre-build beta was my nickname in high school. That's a good nickname. I always wondered when framing. Do you see a solid line or is it kind of flashing? Basically, it's just a laser pointer. So there's a laser pointer with a beam combiner, and the beam combiner points the red light in the same path that the fiber takes, essentially. Think of it that way. So as it's framing, it's using the galvanometers to very quickly loop that red light around whatever you're trying to frame. So if it's moving fast enough on a small enough object, it will look solid. Because think of it like an optical illusion. But on bigger objects or more complicated ones, you see the lines that connect different things. So when we were framing those three circles, there was like a triangle shape connecting them because it was the laser moving so quickly between them, and it doesn't turn on and off. So hopefully that answers. Hey Chadwick, welcome in, bud. So back to where we were. So we're at 1900 millimeters a second, 30 for the frequency, 45 for the power, line interval 0.01. Now, what we get, what the difference is, at least right now in the pre-build, or the beta, is you have to treat images like a dither. So we don't want to do that. We're not dithering this pattern. We want it to burn in solid. So what I'm doing is I'm switching this to threshold. Now what that does is, instead of adding little dots to give it the effect of being filled in, and actually I have a card that can illustrate this. So if you can see, that's an image of the beach. What it does is it speckles the design, for really layman's terms on this. It speckles the design for an example like this image so that it gives the image texture, the illusion that you're drawing different colors almost. But essentially what you're doing is you're removing material in little dots, kind of like a printer. Think of it like a dot matrix printer. Dithering, that's what dithering is in really, really easy terms. We don't want to do that. We want it to just take out all of the material as if it were a vector. Is this a 50 watt JPT? No, this is a 60 watt M7 JPT, MOPA. So what this will do is, by switching this to threshold, it's not a traditional dither like a Jarvis or whatever. It's straight lines of pixels generally. It's either on or off in clumps. So that's what we want. We're going to have it set to fill all shapes at once, and the reason why we're doing that is because we want to just sweep across the entire thing. We actually have two images here stacked on top of each other, so I don't want to do one and then go back and loop and do the other one again. I just want to get them both done at once. I want the same depth. I want the same look. So that's a preference thing. You could change that if you wanted to. I'm not going to do bidirectional. I'm going to do standard hatch in this case. We could do this, but I want to do this. Now, what's missing here is you can't do auto scan angle right now. So usually what we would do, and back when I did the coin, we showed that in, I think it was EasyCAD, I believe. No, it was Lightburn, I think. And then we did it the last time as well. If you're working with a standard layer, you can use auto rotate hatch. So what that means is if you're starting at like an angle of 0 and you move across the design, auto hatch, when you go for the second pass, will rotate it by whatever your degree for the auto hatch is. So if I set it to 36 degrees, it will rotate 36 degrees and then move across the pattern again at that angle. And 36 more degrees and move across the item at that angle. So yeah, hit the like button if you guys haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. I might get a wireless lav mic out of it or not, but that would be cool. Settings are the same with MOPA. MOPA just gives you the option of changing cupels. Yes. So non-MOPA sources, the only difference is you get Q-pulse adjustments. So pulse width is usually what it's referred to in software. Oh Jesus, they already ordered it. Okay, so next live stream, you'll be able to hear me from across the room. Did I miss why we're running Beskar as a raster? I'm doing it intentionally, just to kind of show the difference, and the fact that it's just easy to work with, and it's going to be different in the differences and why they're different. So you basically don't get auto hatch with rasters. You do with vectors. So standard layer, where you get option to fill or do lines, that is where you'll get auto hatch. Now, I imagine there's probably a technical reason why that's the case. I'm also probably going to ask the Lightburn staff if there's a reason why, and if there's not, if they can add it, because this is kind of good to have. But there could be a reason why. I don't know. So It'll be a feature request. Whatever happened to who? HCL, sorry. Start the laser. Yes. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of do this funky because obviously I can't auto hatch it. One thing we could do, we're on the green layer. I can duplicate it. And I now have a blue layer. So this is kind of like what you would do on EasyCAD to do different hatch angles. Now if I duplicate it again, set it to red, duplicate it again, set it to black, duplicate it again. So that's more or less what we can do. Now if we do that, oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh well. So what we're going to do is just set these to the same settings, but we're going to give them a different angle. The easier way to do this would just be to just save it as a library layer and apply it. I still need to burn the bed? No, I will never burn the bed. Not if I can help it. My OCD will never forgive me. .01 line spacing, scan angle 36 plus 36, 72. Oh, don't forget to change the image mode dither to threshold. 1900, 45, 30. Ooh. .36 plus 36 plus 36 is 108. Sorry guys, it's Friday. My brain don't want to work. .144. Hey, get back here. That is what they make wire brushes for. No, that's okay. Not when it goes deep, yeah. No, it's okay. I'll just keep not engraving my bed to protect my OCD. Can you not select the layer from the editor menu on the left? I could, yeah. Just kind of the way I've always done it. Nothing wrong with doing that. So, just to illustrate that, we're on 4. I have this set the way I want it. We can go to 5 from there, yes. Plus 36. 180. Oh, whoops. Mine got burned 10 minutes into first use. Mine almost got burned 10 minutes into first use. Almost. Almost. Alright. So let's double check these. threshold, threshold. Excellent. We don't want to negative the image. Let's double check these. These have some settings from my last time I used this. Okay, cool. So, good enough. I think we all got the point. It'll be random enough that it'll keep things looking okay. So, with that, it's now a reminder to correct all my lenses. Yes. Do a lens correction for all your lenses before Lightburn comes out. That's your homework for the week. Okay. So, that's it. We're good to go. One thing I will say, since we're working with multiple layers here, if you have a habit of doing multiple things at once and you use cut selected, like that's available in EasyCAD too, in this case I can turn it off because there's nothing else in my work area. It will, that way I won't miss any layers. Another way we could have done this is multi-hatch, but that's a story for another day. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch you guys to the webcam. And here we go. Hang tight, guys. Yep, working on it. It's a setting I hit. Just give me one sec. So I made a silly mistake. We're going to switch back to Lightroom and I'm going to show you why it did that. So, there we go. I made a rookie error, and that's okay. So, if I click Start, shapes crossing machine bounds. One or more of the shapes crossing the edge of the machine workspace and will not be sent continue. I hit yes, because I've been getting that error a lot, and I also had stuff on the outside. But if I click on the image that is missing, you'll notice that the outline is way outside of the workspace. That's because our original image extended beyond that. So that's an oopsie on my part. So what I'm going to do, trying to remember how I fixed this last time. I think I traced it. Let's see if it does it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. All right, so let's see if it looks okay filled. Oh, look at that. It's even perfect. All right, so group and delete the square. It's not a square, it's part of the design because I cocked the design sideways. It's an outline of what the shape is that got masked and then got flattened to the image. But that is a good tip. I could make the workspace bigger temporarily. That would work. The reason why I wouldn't do that is because I wouldn't want somebody doing that and doing an oopsie. Like, for example, I have the 110 lens on right now, and if you look on the bottom right in Lightburn, you can create machines. You can duplicate your machine, and it can function as a way of switching between your lens settings. So if you wanted to swap lenses, you don't have to... It's like the equivalent of switching EasyCADs if you have multiple folders. Except you don't have to switch Lightburns. It's just swapping which lens you're using by assigning it a machine. So I don't want to mess with that personally. I could do that, and that would be fine, but... So what I've done is I've hidden and turned off all the other layers. And we'll just do this the classic way. Also, hi Ted. How's it going, bud? So I'm glad I made that oopsie, because that means we can all learn from that together. And I broke Lightroom. I'll give it 1 sec. Can you just crop the image, just delete it? In the current version, for whatever reason, it takes the masked, yes. No, just gonna... Come on. Yes. Yes. So you have to remember that the copy of Lightburn I'm using is a beta copy. So it's not working the way you would expect. But that's okay. So you saw how we can work with a raster image that's not vectorized. And there's ways to work around it in Lightburn that make life easier. That said, I did an oopsie and it was outside the bounds, and that's the reason why it didn't engrave. So that was more of a me problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this layer up again. Just one layer, but now that we traced it, and you saw how easy that was, I right-clicked on it, hit trace, and then I just deleted the rest of the layers. So super easy. I can now use angle increment, which is what auto rotate, I think it's called, in EasyCAD it does. So let's say we're gonna do, I don't know, I think we're gonna do we'll do 40 passes. Nah, we'll start with 20. In an auto increment, I've been doing 32 just because. 36 would give you a full circle after 10 passes, but I want it to be random and not fit into 360 degrees evenly, so 32. What that does is after it completes a full circle, it's still going to be offset just a little bit more than the last layer, and that will continue to knock down any high ridges, so it'll make any cleanup passes we need to do later much faster and easier. Same settings we were running before. This is just settings I've used on this type of knife before and I've been happy with, so I'm just repeating that. It's not particular to the parameter library off the LMA or anything. So another little gold nugget for hanging out with me live if you want to give it a try. This, by the way, this is an aluminum handle with a coating on it, and then the blade is steel. But okay, I think we're good here. Fill all shapes at once, and we're gonna start that again. Sorry about that. I'm also going to turn on the exhaust so I can stop breathing in aluminum fumes. Sorry if you guys can hear the exhaust fan. Is there a way to check the hours that ran on a fiber? I think you would need console access to the source, if that makes sense. So you'd need one of those DB15 to USB connectors, and I think you would need the software in order to connect to the source. No, nobody's lungs like atomized aluminum. Fun fact. Metal's inorganic, so your lungs really don't like it. I agree, this is super pretty looking. It already pops, but I want some texture to it. I want some grip out of it. So this isn't just going to be to make it look pretty, I want it to also be functional. DV says, what are lungs? I might mirror it and do the other side. I don't know. That's a good question. Let me see what kind of... Once we're done on this side, I can see what the screw holes are like for the belt clip on it. If it's easy enough to get off, then we can do the other side. There is a clip, yeah. So I'm not opposed to it, but let's see what the clip looks like. If I can get it off, we can do it. I'm loving it, and I'm not a knife person. I wouldn't call myself a knife person, but I'm enjoying it. This isn't exactly an expensive knife or anything. It's pretty cheap. I just needed a go-to daily carry knife between opening boxes and yard work and all the other stuff. I kept finding myself not having a knife in my pocket, and it was problematic, so this was more of an operation of necessity, as it were. Honestly, it's a pretty cheap knife, too. It might be just little Phillips screws. I'm not sure. Yeah. So if I go to EasyCAD, parameters, other, I see total marking time and total part run. What do these represent? So those represent the total time the software has been used. That copy. So if, for example, that copy is the one that your laser manufacturer gave you, that also incorporates the hours that they used and tested with it, and potentially whoever they copied their copy from. It's not necessarily, it's not going to be an accurate representation of your source. It's not from the source. No, it doesn't pull that information off the source. So if you were to replace the source in your machine, or if you had a second machine and you use the same copy of EasyCAD, those numbers will reflect on the second machine too. Exactly. If they tested with 42 other lasers, yes. So if they have machines that they're also potentially producing products with and testing stability on their EasyCAD, you know, whatever, yeah, it's stored in software, and it's how long that piece of software has been used. Not representative of your source. Correct. Yeah, think about how long almost 2,000 hours is if you were to work 8 hours a day. Full light burn for Galvo crash course in production literally as we speak, and watch Kyle will start uploading next week. Yes. So, if you guys are interested in light burn, which is what I'm using tonight, Alex, mostly Alex, is and will be working on light burn release videos. So we're not going to leave you in the dust. We have lots of videos coming out to help you guys get started with it. And as time goes on, it will continue to grow, the library on that. So Alex has been smashing on that for a while now to try and get you guys a good head start for day of release. So give Alex some love. Drop some hearts in chat for Alex. It's literally all he's been doing. Will be a whole playlist. Yep. Alex is a beast. I want to go pretty deep. Like I said, I want this to be functional. I want to get some good grip out of it because, like I said, it's a rather slick aluminum handle. So those ridges are going to help me hold on to it. Alright, so I'm going to visually inspect it in person. I missed what laser are you using. This is a 60 watt M7 JPT MOPA laser. There's a link in the description of where my machine is from Wisely. So if you want to check it out or look at the specs a little bit more, you don't have to keep up with the video on that. You can open up a second tab and just read it if you want, if that helps. I know sometimes having a spec sheet in front of me is a little more useful than audio. Alright, one sec. Let me look at this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm switching back to Lightburn. I want to drop the frequency just a little bit. We're going down to 25. And we're going to run that again. And we'll just keep chatting. But so far, so good. I like the direction it's going. I want it to keep digging. How can I get red marking laser to show the image to be burned instead of a box? So, I can't show you now because I have the design running, but if you hit frame in Lightburn, you get 3 options. You get contour, you get hull, and I forget what the third one's called. Each of them has, I think it's box. I can't be sure on that, but we can go back to it when this round of passes is done. Essentially what it does is, between the options, like if you use hull, it's going to try and get a close trace of the outer shell, like the hull. If you use box, it's going to give you the tightest box you can get. It's not going to follow the curves of the design. So if you have a circle, you're going to have the top and bottom, left and right box around it if you pick box. And then contour is a little different. So it's going to give you a different idea of, or different ways of lining it up. If, for example, you have text or a round object or, you know, whatever, it's going to give you different ways to visualize it with the red light. So that's another cool thing that EasyCAD hasn't really offered. That is something that Lightburn is doing. I'll show you. When we were lining it up with the, if you care to go back, when we were lining up this knife, I removed the outer outline for the handle so that it was just the 3 circles, and used that to line up the knife handle and the blade for this. That way we didn't hit any of the screw holes or the screw heads. Yep, and you can absolutely, Joseph. Like Joseph said, you can basically set up your laser so if you have multiple lenses, multiple correction files, or even just multiple wattage machines, you can set up a machine in Lightburn like a, think of it like a virtual machine in a computer if you're into IT stuff. You can set it up as its own device per lens with its own core file. And then if, let's say you're set up for a 110 lens like I am now, you can duplicate the laser, and you can update the field size, you can change the core file so that it's accurate to the lens you have on that one, and you can even give it its own material library. So you can have saved parameters based off of the lens that you're using, and they're all unique to the lens if you set it up that way. It's very, very cool. Where did you get that wood base? DV, I quite literally Google searched Bhaskar steel in Google image search. And I took like the 4th or 5th one that was just the wavy pattern. And then what I did was I Googled the Imperial logo with Mandalorian in the title and copied that. And then I used my trace outline, and we used that as a mask, and now you're seeing what we're doing. I hope that was a good play-by-play. Got you, Joseph. Yep. Can't wait to use the software like I'm barely doing work now because I'm tired of so many steps and easy turd working well. Yeah. Well, you can rest easy. You're not far off. Almost there. Give it a week. Oh, the wood that the knife is on. That is quite literally fiber backer board. At Home Depot, they call it Yucca fiber. It's basically just MDF that's really compressed on one side. I actually talk more about it in the episode. I believe that's coming up, Alex, tomorrow or Sunday. I think it's tomorrow. Either way, this weekend, I have an episode coming out on jigs. So, like a clipboard. Yeah, sort of. It's a little heavier. So for reference, a 4x8 sheet of that material that's only an 1/8 inch thick weighs as much as like 1/2 inch plywood. It is super dense, but it is also super stable. It doesn't really warp as long as you keep it relatively flat. A lot of my jigs I stand up on the side and they're actually perfectly fine. So, and I'm in kind of a damp basement. Not damp, but it's humid. So my 1/4 inch plywood tends to cup and warp on me. So this material is a great alternative for me. I was excited to find it and share it with you guys. If you're excited to, yeah, how many passes did you set? I did 20 for the first one, and I changed the frequency and did 20 for this one as well. So we're coming up on the end. We're not far off, I don't think. Pegboard without the holes, pretty much. So what's nice is you can kind of see it's catching on that fiberboard a little bit as it goes by. Wood doesn't really react on fast passes too much. Now, I'm not going to say that in full confidence because I don't want somebody to burn down their machine or something, but, you know, wood is very resilient to the fiber wavelength. It doesn't really react too well to 1064, so, yeah. Yes, you can cut it with the CO2, no problem. I talk more about it in my episode that comes out this weekend. So if you guys are looking to create jigs for products that you make for your fiber, I make my jigs with my CO2, but you can do it with a diode. Or I talk about a way where you can design it and cut it out with wood tools. So, yeah. So should I start with EasyCAD or just get started with... If you're getting started now, I would play with EasyCAD for the week. It's free. You already have access to it, and at least then you can test your laser. There's no harm in getting started with that because you can take everything and bring it over to Lightburn and get started the day it's available, so. Play Minesweeper for the... No. Play with your laser, man. You spend so much money on it, enjoy it. And then when you switch to Lightburn, it'll be that much sweeter. Alright, let me take a look at this. One sec. Okay. So, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, as you can see, it doesn't look like it really needs too much cleaning up. But what I'm going to do is a little bit of a cleanup pass. Yes, sexy Beskar. So, I'm going to my library. Now, if you guys didn't know this, steel white finish is good and is okay to use with aluminum too. We're going to apply that. Alright, so we're going to do 3 passes of a cleanup with crosshatch. Actually, one second. Okay. Let me switch back to Lightburn. So, what I'm doing is, if you guys didn't know, steel white finish will function as a cleanup pass, and I like to use it for aluminum as well. So I assigned it to the layer. I set it to crosshatch for 3 passes, and angle increment of 30 for each pass. So every time it goes through a pass, it changes. Now we're going to go back to laser. I'm going to switch you guys back to the webcam. We're going to hit start. Got another question. DV, I melted a coin jig a couple of weeks ago, really working on stainless. Yeah. So what's nice is the Yucca fiberboard doesn't really react too much to when the metal gets hot. It would have to get super hot for it to start singeing. And if you're going that long, you should probably readjust or change your settings or something anyway. So tracing in lipo galvo is amazing. Yes. DV, be careful when you're building them with your 3D printer. You don't want to do anything with 3D printing that is going to see a lot of heat. I've seen a lot of people melt stuff to their coins, and it turns into what looks like a science project. So just a little tip. Trial Lightburn, then you can use it. Yes. So the trial for Lightburn is available to everyone soon. Once it comes out, I think you get 2 weeks for the trial, and then after that it's available for purchase. So everyone will get access to a trial before you can even attempt to purchase it. Which fiber am I using? This is a Wisely built it. It's a 60 watt JPT M7 MOPA laser. There's a link in the description if you want to check out the specs on it. It's at the top of the description. Six days, but who's counting? Yeah, don't use 3D printers for high temp stuff. If you're doing coins, I mean the knife handle probably is okay, but it's probably pretty toasty. Anything that's going to get many passes, you don't want to use 3D print for on a fiber. But it is a very powerful tool. You can jig up a lot of cool stuff with it. If you do want to check out how I make my jigs, not like what I'm using now, but actual jigs, check out the video that's coming out this weekend. It's got some cool tips. It's just one style of how I make jigs. We have more coming after that. So if it doesn't really fit your needs, you might be able to get some cool tips out of it and just hang out and wait for the next one. And we'll cover a couple different methods. Got some 3D print chat going on. Ender 3s, Prusas, nice. One day I'll get into 3D printing. One day. That's a good idea, Ted. Using the business cards to kind of as a buffer for the plastic. Thanks, Easy. Have a good night, buddy. We'll catch you later. If you guys have any questions while we're hanging out waiting for the cleanup pass to finish on this side, let me know. What do you think about using aluminum as a jig? I use send, cut, send, and osh cut to fabricate my sewing tables and would definitely use them for jigs. Yeah, I mean, so aluminum is perfectly great for using for jigs. It's just out of reach for a lot of people because they don't have access to a CNC, so they can't really machine it themselves, and usually getting that stuff done as a one-off is super expensive. There are people who sell jigs for like more common items. Speaking of which, the Laser Everything marketplace will be, I mean, it's in the final stretch. I'm not sure when it'll be available, but we do have a couple of people who do aluminum CNC jigs. There's also jigs like I make. I'm not selling them right now, but other people make similar ones. But aluminum is great. Metal is a good way of pulling heat out of the thing you're engraving if it's gonna, be engraving for a while. So it could even help reduce warping. That said, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the type of stuff you're referring to. So if there's some kind of special coating on it, maybe check that out before you go for it. Because if you hit it with the beam and it ablates it, if there's something harmful in it, it's now in the air. You know what I mean? But it sounds like if it's just normal aluminum and you're working with it already, that's pretty awesome. Doesn't sound like it would be a problem, but I don't really know too much about that material either. Night, DV. It's good seeing you, man. Thanks for hanging out. I think we'll be coming up. I want to say this might be the last pass or second to last pass. Because it's crosshatched, it kind of messed me up and I lost count. I think one more actually. I can't wait to get this off and wipe it down with some alcohol. Pull the stuff off of it. How deep will this laser engrave in aluminum or steel? If you give it long enough, it'll go right through it. My laser is not a 3D laser, so it will not adjust the focus for depth real time, like while it's engraving. You'd have to manually refocus it if you wanted it to keep just going deeper and deeper and deeper. But it'll go pretty deep. 60 watts is a nice strong laser. The deepest I've gone in anything is maybe 1/4 of an inch into a piece of plate steel. It's like mild steel. What other design software do you use? Even before Lightburn for Galvo beta was available to me, I used Lightburn for most of my prep work. The image trace is just really easy for me. It's usually 1 or 2 clicks and I'm done. This is a really long time for a 60-watt M7 for what I'm doing. Part of it is I'm just doing more passes than I really need to, and part of it is we're talking through it as we do it. And part of it is I'm just slow. So design software. I mostly use Lightburn. Even when I was forced to use EasyCAD, I would export my work out of Lightburn as an AI file, and it would import right into EasyCAD and work fine. With that, I also accompany it with Adobe Illustrator. That's pretty much it, honestly. Lightburn and Illustrator. Maybe a little bit of Photoshop. That's about it. It's all good, Ted. I'm honest and realistic about myself. I'm more than happy to admit my flaw. But yeah, realistically, you could go much faster than this. So... Low and slow keeps the slag at bay, yes. The other thing, too, Air Assist is really nice if you're doing deep engravings, and I actually want some texture out of this handle, like I was saying, because the purpose of this knife is for me to use it in the shop, use it outside while I'm doing yard work. I've gotten caught out a couple of times, even in the last 2 weeks, especially now that we're in summer. There's a lot of stuff I need to get done, and it'll be right after it rains because that's the climate I'm in, and it's really unfortunate timing, and then I have to go wander around the house or walk like a half-mile round trip to go get a knife to go do what I need to do, and I just waste a ton of time that way. So I really needed just a new knife that I could keep on me. So what I was saying was Air Assist can also help. So if I wanted to go faster and I really just wanted to get the most efficient time out of this, I could use Air Assist and blow the ablated material away from the knife even more toward the exhaust, just to make sure it's off of there. Because you can kind of see the blue almost looks powdery now. That's the powder aluminum that got ablated off the knife. The exhaust, even though it's wicked strong, isn't powerful enough to get everything, because it's kind of like, not literally magnetic, but it's using static to grab itself back onto the material. Alright, so I think we're good with this. I'm going to go pull the knife off and we're going to wipe it and see what it looks like. Alright, we're back. Let me close it. Pretty nice. I'm happy with that. I know texture doesn't really come across in video sometimes. It feels better than it looks, and it looks pretty good, I think, in my opinion. So this is cool. Now, there are some Allen bolts on the back. What do you guys think? Should we do the back while we're here? Drop a yes or a no. I'll go with what you guys say. Actually, before I commit to that, let me make sure I can get this off. We could do the spine. That is an option. I don't know if I have the right Allen key size for this. No. I think we're giving up on the back for tonight. I'll stay up for the spine. Sounds good, HTL. Yeah, sorry guys. Well, I'll deal with that later. We're gonna do the spine. Manterlorian. Like the text? I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, we can do another stream where I'll do the back of this. I have to find an Allen key to remove the belt clip. I see what you're making me do. It's going to be a turtle on one side, Bhaskar steel on the other, and now you're making me call it Manturtleorian. I see. Okay. Yeah, what he's saying is, on the back of the blade, up the back of the spine of the blade here. So yeah, we could totally do that. One problem with that is I don't have... Killing me. Yes, I'll do it. I don't have a thing to hold it up. Give me 1 minute. I think I have something to hold it. 1 sec. Okay, I found a thing. Give me 1 sec. I've totally stolen a cardboard box from my cookies to do this. You'll see this. I just have to level it out. 1 moment. Gotta find something skinny enough to level it out. Okay. So, if you guys didn't catch that, I stole my cookie box from my cookies to prop this knife. Alright, so let's go to Lightroom. Yeah. So, I'm gonna just shift this off screen. We don't need that right now. Okay, I need to reference your spelling here. Manterlorian. Manterlorian. Okay, are we in agreement? Yes, MOPAs, we have cookies. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I am too. Alright, so if you caught that with my micrometer there, or my caliper rather, you know what? I forgot the size. Let's do it again. .85. So, yes, you're right. Let's change it to all caps. We're not savages. Manterlorian. Okay. And we're gonna change the font. Let's see. I like scrolling through it this way so I can see what it looks like. Maybe a Robin font, yeah. We're not doing wingdings, no. I don't have that font, man. Is that what you want? Is that what you, is that what you want? I don't know. We'd go silly. Is this light burn for Galvo? Yes. Yeah, I agree. Copper is... I think we might go skinny. I don't know how thick it'll look on the spine. Bold versus light. Yeah, it's going to be like 2 millimeter. Yeah. Alright. So, we're going to go back here. Real tiny. And we're going to be somewhere up here. I'm going to switch to the webcam view so I can help show you guys line it up. There's a Mandalore font. Alright. I'm going to Google it. Oh, that does look good. David, I appreciate that. Alright. We're doing it. Hang tight, we're installing a font. We'll see. Alright. It's installing. Real men use Comic Sans. We'll see. I don't know, that's pretty good. Should we have Mando in the O or no O? Just normal O. What do you guys think? I don't know if we're going to get that much detail out of it that small. I haven't tried something this small before. Okay, we're getting yeses. So yeah, we're going to do it for science. Alright. So, for the person who was asking about frame, while we're here, bounds, hull, and contour. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Alright, so I'm going to switch you guys back over to the webcam. We'll get this lined up, see where we're at. first off, we need to focus before we frame it. We are focused. I'm going to show you guys another trick while we're here. Right screen. Whoops. If we highlight what we're working with and hit P, it drops it into the center of the work area. Okay? So if we go back here, cut selected graphics, because we're leaving that in, it will only frame Mandalorian. Yeah. Back to the webcam. Okay, so we're ready to run it. So we can close out of the frame, and we need to set this back up to actually dig into the metal again. Yeah, that's fine. Turtle emoji off YouTube, yes. Can you unlock it and stretch it wider? I could. I think if I do, I don't know how legible it'll be, though. I don't know. Should I go wider, guys? What do you think? That's true. Well, this is how it's stretched. And where is H-space? There we go. What do you guys think looks better, top or bottom? Let's see, H-based, top, bottom, top, bottom. I don't know. Jack changed his mind to top. Alright, I guess we're going top. It's the viewer's choice. Tell you what, let's do this. We'll skew it a little less. How about now? Is that a better medium, guys? What do you think? Better? Alright. Happy medium. We did both. Alright. I gotta reframe it again. So again, the benefit of using center of your workspace, if you hit P again, it recenters it to the workspace again. So if I hit frame, we should be pretty close. I think I just have to shift it left or right now. Let me get you guys back over. It's actually perfect. All right, here we go. Yeah, Alex, I knew you'd appreciate the cardboard box, man. It's the perfect amount of, yes. So we're starting to get little ridges in the metal, so that's a good sign. On HTL's bucket list for tomorrow, buy fireworks. If I don't anneal this, I'm fired. Yeah, I guess we'll have to anneal it, guys. Viewer's choice. Alright, let me see if it's deep enough. Nope, full send. One more. I don't need an excuse to keep a box of cookies around. Gotta have snacks in the work area or you're not doing it right. Those just happen to be the one thing in the store that, like, I was getting pasta the other day and they were in the pasta aisle for whatever reason. It worked out. They're really good, actually. They're dry. If you don't like dry cookies, don't get them, but... One of my favorite cookies is Girl Scout cookies, the Samoa flavor. So good. Granny wafer things. What does that mean? Oh, I know what you mean. You're talking about the, like, just the layered wafer cookies. With, like, it's almost like frosting in between. Yeah, sugar wafers. That's what you mean, right, Alex? The wafer yeah, that, yeah. Okay. We're in agreement. Guys, I think I like it, but I want to do one more. Not necessary, but I'm doing it. Sugar wafers are good. Vanilla's not my favorite by any means. There was a brand that did orange that I didn't mind. Those were okay. Chocolate was kind of my go-to. Jack said moon pies. Moon pies are good. I wouldn't call those cookies, though. They're like sandwiches. You know what's really good? Peanut butter filled pretzels. Delicious. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, I'm happy with that. Alright, so now we have to anneal it. Now, I actually haven't annealed steel yet, so this will be exciting. There we go. So, I have the parameters from Alex's library converted. Yeah, I should do steel white first, you're right. I don't know. It's been working for me. I'll try yours. I'll try yours. No, we're doing it again. $700. It also helps if I use the 45s. Okay, webcam. Alex, what happened? It's okay. We're going backwards. We're gonna do this again. Yeah, good enough. You are a professional. It just goes to show that every laser is different. You gotta just play with it until you get it right. We did the Uno reverse card. We're back to it. It's all good. Alright, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I said, man. Every laser's different. Alright, so we're going to try out a anneal now. So let me bring you back to Lightburn. So, full disclosure, I have not annealed anything yet in terms of steel. So, we're experimenting together. Yeah, what do you mean you have to dial in your set? Yeah. Yep, it goes to show. When you're using somebody else's numbers, it gets you close. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you gotta fine tune a little, but it gets you close. Thank you, Jack. Alright, so I have the preset here for anneal for my laser. We're going back to the webcam. We're gonna run it. I feel like I forgot to do something. That's because I did. One sec. Oh no, that's right. Okay, we're good. That felt like it went so much faster than it should have. Oh, that's because it did. We didn't have it set to... Okay, I am dumb. Don't mind me. Here we go again. I didn't enable crosshatch. That's my fault. So, let me take a look at this. It's perfect. Alright, one sec. Okay. Sorry, I had to get a little something to clean it. What did I miss here? Superheats the surface without ablating. Yes. So, when laser engravers say they're annealing something, okay, I'm back. A little quieter now. So, when a laser engraver says they're annealing something, it's not annealing like someone's annealing a sword, like a blacksmith. You're heating the surface in order to change the structure of the material at the top, so it's a little more rust resistant. All right. Let's see if I can do this. Nope. Doesn't help that there's still paper towel in there. This is a cheap knife for all intents and purposes, just so you know. So I did not have high hopes for this, but it came out pretty nice. I'm happy with that. And one more time on the handle. And it's got some good texture to it. Pretty good. What do you guys think? Was that a fun group project? I'm pretty happy with that. Nice, great. Now, that said, I just wiped this down with whatever cleaner I had here, so I do still need to oil that. When you engrave things like steel, 3-in-1 oil really helps get into the pores. So I definitely recommend that. But I don't have access to it right now because it's not in my workshop. 3-in-1 oil, yes. In a pinch, I've seen people use WD-40. I've seen people use like mineral oil that you would use on like a cutting board. I don't know what the idealness of it is, but 3-in-1 oil is the go-to for stuff you're not putting in your mouth. I can say that much. So thanks for all the master level tips. Looking forward to your jig video. Thank you. It will not be the only jig video. I know the method I'm going to show in the first video isn't going to work for everyone, for every item, for everything. But pro tip, if you use the method that we used tonight to trace the outline of the item, you can do complex jigs the same way in Lightburn. It's the same method. And we'll show that in a future video. So the first video, Alex confirmed, coming out tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. So check it out tomorrow. Leave a comment after the stream ends. Refresh the page. Hit the like button if you didn't. Thanks for hanging out. And if you're not in the Discord, check out the Discord. We send out notifications every time we do lives, any new videos. And if you ever want help or ideas or how to fix something, it's a great community. We're also on Facebook. Both links are in the description. If you want help with your parameters, almost all of the parameters I used tonight are in the parameter library. While that's not the primary goal of the LMA, where basically it makes stuff like what I'm doing right now possible. The bonus is you get access to the parameter library that Alex worked hard on, and also a converter. So if you have a different size laser like I do and a different lens, it will help you convert for what you have. I think that's everything for tonight. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Good morning to Europe. Yes, good morning. Good morning to the other side of the world, and good night to this side of the world. Thank you for hanging out for this episode of the Man-Turtle-Lorian. You guys made this possible. Group project. In a future live stream, I'll do the back of the knife probably to complete the trifecta engrave of the knife. I mean, I guess technically it's 1:13 in the morning, so it is morning. But all right, guys and girls and everyone, have a lovely evening. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. Appreciate you spending your time hanging out and learning with us. Take care. See you in the next one.